With his simple assault case now officially closed, Franklin County Sheriff John Grismore says he's ready to move on and get back to work on improving his office over the next 2 years. Grand Isle County State's Attorney Doug DeSabato dropped the assault charge Monday following that second mistrial. ABC 22's Matt Holderman spoke one-on-one with the sheriff today. Matt is now live in the newsroom with that conversation.
Thanks, Lauren. Well, Sheriff Grismore told me it has been a long and emotional 2 years dealing with the fallout of his use of force incident, and he's relieved that it is finally over. While he still stands by his actions, he says there are some things he likely would have done differently if he had a chance at a do-over, and he hopes to take the lessons he learned from this experience and apply them to his department moving forward.
When the news came out, I had to shut my phone off.
This past Monday was the day Sheriff Grismore had waited 2 long years for, the moment he could finally leave his infamous use of force case in the past. Grismore was caught on camera kicking a man in custody back in 2022, and although he always felt what he did was justified based on the danger that detainee presented, he knew many people would see things differently.
We always felt like we were, the underdog in this and fighting the uphill battle, fighting the state, fighting the media, fighting the public opinions that were formed long before we had an opportunity to provide any justification for anything.
When the body cam footage was released to the public, it caused a domino effect, leading to Grismore being fired before later being elected sheriff, then being charged with simple assault and being stripped of his law enforcement certification. He feels it wasn't until the trial that the full set of circumstances that led up to the incident were really looked at.
We want to have this faith and trust in our law enforcement, and when we see these things happen, we immediately get angry, and so it's this reaction based on fear rather than on, hey, maybe I want to learn about this. Maybe I really want to understand this.
When not one but 2 juries couldn't agree whether or not he was justified, Grismore says it provided some comfort, but the charge being dropped on Monday was when he could finally breathe a full sigh of relief.
It's a huge relief to have that, but it's not just for me, it's for everybody else. This office has had this black cloud hanging over them forever. Their name, their reputation, their organization has been constantly highlighted as well. So yeah, I'm feeling like finally it is, 100% done, and now we can move forward.
Looking back on it, Grismore admits he could have acted better in the moment, and that there are plenty of people he will likely never be able to get back on his side. But he says what he can do now as sheriff is make sure a similar scenario does not happen again.
And this is the great thing about the role that I'm in, is I can affect change based on that. Right? So I can take what I've learned, what I've felt, what I've experienced, and then bring that to bear for all of the folks that work with me in this organization. So that's one of the great gifts, if you will, in this process.
And it's important to note that although State's Attorney DeSabato did drop the charge and close the case, he still thinks Grismore was guilty of simple assault and unjust in his actions. He says had Grismore not also already been stripped of his law enforcement certification, he likely would have brought this to a trial for a 3rd time. Tune into ABC 22 News at 7, and I will have more of my conversation with Sheriff Grismore. You can also find the full interview online at our website, mychamplainvalley.com. For now, live in the newsroom, Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.